All right. This is it, guys. You've arrived. Here comes the intro music. It's amazing. It's not the hottest track you've ever heard. It's not anything that's being played on the radio. It's me. It's the intro for Kosher Dills. I got my own podcast now, and the rest of the world is scared. All right, let's do that intro over again.
I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, nah, hanging out, nah, hanging out. You kick it with your homies and y'all chill, but I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, yo, I be hanging out. Y'all be chillin' and kick it with your homies, but no be, I just be hanging out. Rounds to 3 in the morning, NJ to LA. Mel's down the people be flossing. I be hanging out. Regis and Kelly, Wheel of Fortune, buy your Val from Vena. Not be your G in the coffin. I be hanging out. Starbucks in the morning, brown sugar in the raw. Trainees on Santa Monica, biggest hookers that I ever saw. Sipping through my straw, I'm thinking about my flaws. I ain't pimping in this far. Do the chicken head dance. Do the saw. Mostly Shabbos schnitzely, talking like I'm Sicily. I ain't got no pasta, mama, all I got is Listerine. My flow is so unorthodox, religious girls still mention me. They into me like coffee and cake, and study breaks, playing chess, jigsaw puzzles, and checkmate. We in K-Town, so Instagram, down Backstreet Boy karaoke when we hang out. I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, nah, hanging out. Nah, hanging out, you kick it with your homies and y'all chill, but I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, yo, I be hanging out, y'all be chillin' and kick it with your homies, but no be, I just be hanging out, I be hanging out, with my dog at the dog park, cleaning up a lot of doggy doo-doo, I be hanging out, all night with my homies till I fall down and get a boo-boo, I be hanging out, with a rabbi and a priest and a guy who know a lot of voodoo, I be hanging out, so late, I miss a train, yo, and the train go, choo-choo, up and down like yo-yo, vatos, they say I'm loco, mess with my money, no, but I still treat you for follow, paparazzi take photo, even my mama knows to tag me in my photos, so please smile in my photos, guess who's up in here, arms moving like puppeteers, I be bustling, hustling, y'all struggle to buy a couple beers, midnight coming closer, y'all drunk up the mimosa, hello baby, what's your name, my name is Kosher, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, nah, hanging out, nah, hanging out, you kick it with your homies and y'all chill, but I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, I be hanging out, yo, I be hanging out, y'all be chillin' and kick it with your homies, but no be, I just be hanging out.
What's up, everybody? It's Kosher Dills, and welcome to Hustle Beach. It's my podcast. I came up with the name by myself. I hustled it by myself. I borrowed the beach from the beach. I borrowed the hustle from the hustle. I put it together. I kicked Arnold Schwarzenegger out of Venice Beach, and I came up with this podcast name, and we're recording it here. We're live on Hustle Beach, a.k.a. a studio in Van Nuys. And I came here today to introduce myself to this awesome podcast world because I've been rapping forever, and I've been going to all these Jewish synagogues forever and these synagogues, and I've been, recovering from drug addiction forever, and there's really nothing much left to do except start a podcast because you live in LA, and that's kind of the thing that you hope to do one day. You're like, how can I navigate to the world of acting, I wanted to navigate to the world of acting. I wanted to navigate through the world of rapping. I wanted to be playing these sold-out shows, and I started out doing the underground rap thing, and then I became an overground, pop rap maker that didn't make it into pop, so it was like an underground hip-hop thing, and then I did a synagogue thing, and then I did the Israel stuff, and now I'm here in Van Nuys. Hustle Beach, baby, where all the hustlers live. And without further ado, I have an amazing guest that I want to introduce to you that I met on a Cobra Fitness Club hike at Runyon Canyon, and Runyon Canyon is where all the attractive people go to when they don't work. And we met every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 in the morning, and I would literally go there because, honestly, I have no friends in LA. I do have friends, but they're on Facebook, or they're on tour, or they're friends in the industry, and they're like, how's it going? They're like, how's the struggle? you know, we've all become struggle rappers in our own respective fields, you know. And I met this student. His name is Isaac, and I want to introduce to you Mr. Instagram famous Guy Fantastico. Give it up for Guy Fantastico, everybody. Insert applause.
Thank you.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
There you go, man. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. I don't have any children.
I know, but
Pretty sure about that.
there you go.
But
And you're
happy Father's Day.
a Cuban Jewish. Your family are Cuban Jewish immigrants.
Yeah. Well, my mom was born in Cuba. My
Mm-hmm.
dad was born in Russia. And then they met on the beaches of Miami, and shortly thereafter made me.
There you go. Brothers and sisters, or
3 brothers. We're 4 boys.
all hustlers?
All hustlers. Actually, what we're going to talk about, we're all involved in some capacity. The brains behind it is my brother Josh.
Josh.
So
But
I
wait,
technically
you
work
guys
for
were,
him.
You worked for Josh, but before you worked for Josh, you guys were like slinging like perfume, right?
Yeah. So that's the family business. Perfume, or was anyway.
Let me hear about the scents. I really, because you know they have those people. Remember, like back in the day in like high school, and there would be people that pulled up to like these events, and they would have like the $30 like Ralph Lauren polo. They would just be like, "Oh man, like the dude got the plug on all the colognes." Is that
Fell off a truck.
fell off a truck?
Yeah.
Right. Now, was that like your guys' business? Like the
No,
Cuban
no.
Russian collabs, you know?
No, ours was legit. We would make them. So my father had a company where he would get the license from different brands or celebrities, and then develop the fragrance for them, manufacture, market, distribute all over the world. And I was going to film school at the time, which is like, for me, it was why. Like, I was just frustrated. I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, this is Miami. Is this
In
in Miami?
Yeah, I was in school in Miami, and so, you know, I was anxious about it. It didn't feel like I was learning much, and maybe that's my own fault. None of us are very good students, so my dad encouraged me to drop out and go work for him, and that's
There
what
you
I
go.
did. And so I was slinging perfume for a while.
So, but who was the plug on like who were some of the celebrities that you developed perfume for?
So when I went to work for my dad, he had just signed the license to do Guess jeans, and we were working on that. And at the same time, Paris Hilton was coming up, and she didn't have a show yet or anything, but I just kind of was like hearing about her, and
So you were telling your dad, you're like, "Yo, there's this girl Paris Hilton."
yeah, and so we went after that license, got it, and made her fragrance. Now she's got like maybe 20, 25 fragrances.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So your dad was like, "Yo, man, let's be like, hey, listen, Mr. Hill, we'll slide you 20 G's. We're gonna make you this perfume, you know." Like, how does it work? Was that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, you go, you pitch them. This is the idea. This is what we want to do. And then there's like kind of like a, you know, it's usually like an advance, right? And then a percentage of sales. And that's kind of like the basic deal. And then whoever's in charge of negotiating it tries to get more of a percentage, more of an advance, whatever it is. I mean, they're doing their job.
And how old
Right.
were you when this was happening?
20?
Wow. So your dad
Something
was
like
like,
that.
"Good job, son."
Yeah.
He was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you told your big brother Josh, you're like, "See,
Oh,
I
no.
knew it." No.
I'm the big brother.
Oh, you're the
Yeah,
big
yeah,
brother.
so little brother's the boss now.
Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So is that how it kind of works? So it's like, I'm just thinking now, I'm like, wow, I could make my own, you know, like, so I could
Fragrance?
approach a fragrance company.
The thing about that is like, yeah, look, anyone can do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it's so attractive to people is because it's a luxury good, and the cost of goods aren't that much. So you, depending obviously on how many you make, right? We were making hundreds of thousands of bottles, so the cost of goods, economies of scale, right? It allows you to make it for a lot cheaper. You'd probably make like 1,000 bottles, 10,000 bottles, and pay a little bit of a premium because you're not making that many. But even still, say it costs you $7 at that scope, $7 a bottle, you can sell it for 50, 65.
Or in the park lot 7-Eleven for 25.
Exactly, but that's still that's still a big margin.
That's yeah.
So that's why the business.
That's why they have
works.
those. That's why when you ever go to the airport, they have the free samples. I always just go and like, just come up real quick on a
Right.
cent.
And now you're fresh.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow, man. No, because I'm like, oh, the economy of scale. I'm like, oh, the economy of dills. I mean, like, look at that range right there. That's what I like.
Why haven't you made a fragrance or at least a
I don't
candle?
know, just like a pickle scented
Yeah.
perfume, or I mean, just in general, like pickles, I think of them as like, they're right under pizza and cats. Like they're on the come up. They're like soon. It could be a year or two before we take it all over. I always get tagged in all the pickle videos. So anyways,
You should do it.
Regardless or not,
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you're from, Miami Beach, it makes me think of Scarface a little bit. So your dad was like Scarface, but like a Jewish one selling perfume instead of Coke,
Right. Yeah. Basically. Same accent.
Same accent, yeah. Now, okay, so you're also a boxer, right? We could talk about that. Now, is
Yeah.
that like the Cuban part? Do Cubans box? Is that a thing?
Yeah, they're the best.
They're the best, right?
Yeah.
But all the Mexicans are good too, boxers, right?
So it's like this. The Mexicans are the top. Mexican and Russian are just like the toughest. They come forward, they bang. I think the fact that I'm not either of, well, I'm half Russian, but I'm scrawny. I mean, I'm little. So I just tried to not get hit.
You're like a featherweight or a bantamweight?
Not bantam. Yeah. So I fight amateur. So we have to weigh in and fight the same day. So you don't have that much time to rehydrate.
Right.
So I just basically weigh in around what I'm walking around at. Maybe lose a couple pounds, but I fight at lightweight. So I fight at 130. But if I were to turn pro, I'd actually lose weight.
Right.
But the Cubans are really defensive minded and hard to hit. So I try to fight like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Mike Tyson's Punch Out was one of my favorite games. I don't know how I could follow that up. I was like, I wrestled, I was an NCAA. I mean, I have cauliflower ear, so whenever people see that you have like a really messed up ear, like my ears are really, they're kind of.
They're not that bad.
They're not that bad.
I mean, yeah,
I've definitely seen worse.
Yeah.
But when you see someone with cauliflower ear, you're
You don't
like,
fuck
all
with
right,
them.
you don't fuck with them. Yeah,
No,
you
you
don't mess
walk-
with them.
you wa-
You're
yeah.
like, yo, what's real recognize real, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because, listen, in the schmooze of LA, you're just like, sometimes you get frustrated. You might want to back arch somebody, you know what I mean? But it's good that you're developing perfumes and you're developing apps and that you could, whoop someone's ass. I mean, that means something to me. I don't know if it means anything to anyone else in the world, but anyone that's out there doing it, in the world of, what's the investors, what are they called?
VCs?
Venture
capitalists?
Venture capitalists. Yeah. Listen, I think it gives
Don't
you a little
cross
bit.
me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, make sure you come through on time. I get bantamweight on that ass, jab off, all right, so tell us about how did you meet we met through the Cobra Fitness Club.
Yeah.
Right. So how did you meet that guy, the Cobra Snake?
When I first moved here 16 years ago or whatever, he was a kid taking pictures at clubs, at bars. And that was pre-Instagram, pre-whatever. That was his niche. And we became friends because I'd see him every week. Maybe he'd take my picture. Maybe he'd put it up on, it was polaroidscene.com, I think, originally, and then the cobrasnake.com. And,
right.
And now he's world-class photographer.
World class.
Yeah.
He's like on the billboards taking pictures of really attractive models.
Yep. So, because I'm a boxer, I went to get my road work done. It's a lot more fun running with you guys than by myself.
Right.
But also, I thought maybe I would find a wife.
Right. Oh, at the hike.
Yeah, because, he's friends with so many attractive women, and they like to work out. So I was like, I get to hang out with Mark, get in shape, and then maybe meet a lady.
Someone, yeah. Right.
The last part never really came to fruition for me. But
yeah.
We tried.
I would definitely go. I mean, I definitely met some girls there. I mean, if it's honestly, it's probably it is set up to be like, hey, just hop in front of the camera and all I have to do is let someone take a picture of you. If you go and show up at 9 a.m. on Tuesday at Runyon Canyon, like, you will be running with extremely attractive women. And even the guys are just, everyone's in good shape, and it's almost
A lot of beefcakes.
Yeah, yeah, like extremely fit, attractive men. Speaking of our buddy Alexander, who we were just talking, was in the Katy Perry video that we were chatting about with Andy. Andy's our trusted producer in the background here. Big up to Jordan River Studios. So we were talking. So you didn't get a wife. I didn't get a wife, but we met, and here we are, Hustle Beach. And I got to get Mark from Cobra Snake, the Cobra Snake over here, because he's like, I don't know. I don't
He's
think
the ultimate
he kind of
hustler,
invented
aside from you.
He thank you. Thank you. He invented hustling for photographers, I think.
Yeah, I think
there's
so
like
too.
other guys out there too that are hustling photographers. Dude, Johnny Nunez, and that does all the. You might know Johnny Nunez. He's like in New York doing all the the rap stuff. But as far as the West Coast party, I mean, it's way different now because now you just have Instagram, right? So now you could just take pictures. So speaking of Instagram,
sure.
Let's talk about your new awesome app.
Yeah.
Rep.
So okay, talking about fragrances. Basically, what I did there, I did have, man, I was gonna walk into like a bad pun, like a nose for things or whatever. But no, I did have a lot of influence on shaping the way it actually smelled, and working with the chemists and things like that. But more than anything, I came up with the marketing plan for things, and I basically told the story, right? We'd design it. We'd go into the department stores and meet with the buyers. And is that fan too loud? And sorry, appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
I would go into the department stores and tell the story and sell it in, right? And then you'd have to market it, and it's and over the course of doing that and today. Traditional marketing, traditional advertising, like billboards and TV ads and magazine ads, what have you, they sort of, the return on investment on them started to wane a little bit, right? There's only so much of that doesn't. Some of it feels maybe vanity, right? You want to see your product up in lights and
that's
things
why
like
I want
that.
a billboard. I just want to see me come up and everyone be like, "Oh my God, you have a billboard! Like you totally made that." Oh my gosh.
But
I mean, it is cool though. But for like, I actually looked at the prices on the corner of Sunset and Highland. I think for 15 G's, you could get the one right there on Sunset
For a month.
and Highland for a month.
Yeah. True.
I called.
True.
And I was like, maybe if I just rap under it and be like, "Yo, this is my album," and it's up there on the billboard, and like I could actually raise enough money to have it there, to have a giant pickle there.
The thing about that, and I know you're joking, but it's hard to quantify, right?
I kind of was serious.
No,
I was thinking, I was like, dude, I could pull this off. I could really. But you could get the billboards in like Silver Lake for stupid cheap, right? Like the ones in the cutty spots that like Ausla takes out, and they're like Ausla goods, in the back corner of like, I don't know, Alvarado and something else or something. It's cheaper over there.
Sure. But even still, you're spending money on the hope that somebody sees it and then maybe buys the record or buys whatever. You have no way to know if it actually was effective.
You have no way.
No way. So
it's just part of the dream.
Right. Which look, I'm not knocking. Like ideally, if you have the money, you do all of it, right? You do the traditional and then you do the new media. But seeing all of this pop up, seeing Instagram and everything, and all of a sudden you can quantify your spend and see what's actually being effective. Is the Facebook ad working? Is the whatever? Now you know how to retool the marketing to be most effective. So I was, slinging perfumes and seeing all of that pop up. And my brother and I had, and my dad too, long conversations on where the business is heading and how we can be a part of it, right? And then one thing led to another, and my brother came up with this idea for Rep. A few years ago, so many people with significant followings were getting paid insane money to post about stuff. That was effective until it wasn't, because a lot of them have massive following that's really diluted by bots and things like that. So the 200,000, 2 million people you think you're promoting to, that's not the real number.
Right.
So
now they even have like fake followers on your Instagram stories,
right?
Because people are just getting paid to put up
right.
stories, and I'm like, I started blocking. I had like 2, and I'm like, get followers 6974, and I'm like, no, I don't want you to be a view of my story.
Right. So what we did is we built a platform for brands and influencers to meet and collaborate, and it's really it caters to what they're calling micro influencers, because it behooves a brand.
Well, that word, it behoove.
Huh?
What was that word?
It benefits them to if they want to reach 100,000 people, it's better to hit up 10 people with 10,000 followers
that are legit.
Right. than one person with 100, and you're like, well, how many of those 100 are legit?
How many followers do you have? Like 1,000 or 2,000?
Me?
Yeah.
No, but I'm private because
Yeah.
I don't really.
So you have a lot of like interaction. Like everyone loves you.
Yeah, but it's my friends. But that's the point, right? Because you have a captive audience. So if you go and promote something, it's not to a bunch of bots. It's to people who
Real
care about
people.
what you exactly real people.
Yeah.
And so that's what this app is for. Yeah, you can have 1 million followers and join, or you can have 1,000. It doesn't matter. There's no barrier to entry.
Right.
So that's what it is. That's all it is. It's a platform for brands and influencers to meet, collaborate, get paid.
Like I
promote.
use one of those things for like it's like Instagrass and you like go like. So I went to like I put in like synagogue and I'm like and I'm like or like it's a
Yeah.
bunch of places and it's
Yeah.
like you say Happy Hanukkah like to 900 people at one time and everyone's like, oh my God, thank you so much. Kosher Dills, said that to us,
Right.
But there's other people that are like, yo, check out my mixtape on like #DatPiff or something and you're like, oh hashtag DJ Khaled, things of that nature.
Sure.
And that obviously doesn't mean that those people are a captive audience. That means those people are all trying to promote something to people who are trying to promote something.
Yeah.
Going the
Those
360
are
circle
tools-
jerk of like, oh, word, you want,
No, look,
It's
those
not-
are tools
really
that
happening.
are automated that help with engagement, right?
Mm-hmm.
The idea is if you comment on my thing,
Maybe you'll click on my
exactly.
profile and you'll check it out.
Yeah, and honestly,
It works
like
to some
that
degree.
that works exactly. It does work. The more authentic you can make it, the better. And that's ultimately what's at the crux of like any brand relationship. Any brand loyalty is because you're like, oh, I back this like authentically. I care
Did you hear
this.
about the MailChimp promotion thing? And MailChimp was like snail pimp. And
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Everyone was like,
That was a weird
inhale
campaign.
drink. Yeah,
Yeah.
weird campaign. Everyone's like, let's just make it like kosher krills.
Yeah.
You're like kosher pills. You're like dill.
I don't know how
Dill's
effective it was.
Yeah.
It was. I saw
don't
it.
know, I
I was like
heard.
intrigued by it. The commercials were weird and cool, but I don't know.
It was, and you were working, so you got into this, and like your brother's like, listen, you're gonna go out there and be like the face in L.A. and I'll be here with Dad in Miami, running the Cuban operation.
No, my brother lives here. We actually live
Oh,
together.
that's
but
cool. Okay.
No, the idea. Look, this is his idea. He's the brains, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the freaking Steve Jobs, where he came up with it, and was able to work with the team of engineers to really put the pieces together, and he works with me on the marketing of it, but the kind of like lets me run the show because that's what I know how to do. I didn't have the capacity to put it all together, but I get it. I can explain it to brands and get that business going.
So what's the next hustle like with that? Like you're
With
about
that, well, we just
has it worked for anyone yet? I was like,
Yeah,
hey, like
yeah,
somebody's
totally.
like, yo, dude, I just came up on 30 grand, like promoting like a Taco Bell through my foodie.
Yeah.
Like I'm like a guy who's like wins hot dog eating contests or something. Who's that guy? The big professional eater in the Bay. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? You know that guy? Who is it?
I don't know. I'm sure
Right.
you got paid to
Yeah, he's a
eat
professional
something, though.
eater. He could eat like 80 hot. There's those.
Yeah.
They're like skinny. They never get fat. They eat. They're like professional eaters.
That's what I don't understand. how
But
that
anyways, a
happens.
guy
Yeah.
like that could sign
Yeah.
up, and next thing Taco
totally.
Bell's like, "Yo, we need you to eat all these tacos."
Yeah, to walk you through the history, we launched it 2 months ago, right?
Oh.
And
New.
What? Yeah, brand
New.
new. And the first thing we needed to populate the app with influencers, because if you're a brand and you download it and there ain't nobody to work with, what's the point? But influencers are used to seeing these new opportunities and they jump on it because that's where the business is.
Mm-hmm.
So populated the app, then we started branching out and getting brands on board. And now that we pivoted a little bit to target more brands and get them on board. And thing about that is it requires a little bit of education because influencers, like I said, are used to doing this, but brands, they know what influencer marketing is by name, but maybe they haven't really put it into effect yet. So it's a little bit of hand-holding.
So who are the big ones you got? Like who are the biggies?
The big brands?
Like the big home. Like who's the big influencers?
Oh, man. You just downloaded it. You
Right,
could
download
see
the
like
app,
you
but-
could go you could put a filter and say just show me the people with 1 million followers or whatever. I don't know.
But you're like, hey, because you used to work at a company,
Yeah.
the super big artists. If you
Yeah.
want to dabble,
Yeah. I'm between fragrance and this. I worked in a music management company, and a lot. So I didn't do anything really with music. My role was marketing and business development.
that's cool.
And for the past 3 years, I've been trying to actually implement influencer marketing into a lot of this because that's what's working. That's what's growing. So you can like I said, you can put money behind traditional advertising and marketing, but you kind of got
Already doing that
got to
for
speak the
years.
language of the kids, right? If that's
Right.
who you're targeting.
He was when I first met Isaac. For all the listeners, he was testing the Katy Perry video game, which is pretty. That's pretty swaggy to me, honestly. Because I was addicted to the Kim Kardashian video game. I was driving and playing it for 48 hours straight.
Not
Slowly
good.
in Koreatown. Yeah. No, it's an amazing game, and it's crazy because it's a free game, and they continuously update the game, so you can never beat the game, and then you have to keep spending money to buy the little things like shoes, Louis Vuitton purses, and it's pretty much exploits everything that she's about without really making it funny, and it's like a great graphics, sort of like Sims, know, and that's just like, oh, people are, so you have someone, you're implementing a team, it's like it's on it, so I'm sure she has a Snapchat, and sure she has, and it's, and you took another artist from there, so you're like managing a musician dude, and
well, I was developing a kid, to bring him into the fold, and I like I said, I left to focus on the app, but I love this kid. His name's Mark Baker, and so we're still working together. And no, we haven't put any music out yet, but we're gonna this year.
Well, all you need to do it is right. I feel like I've been putting music out for my entire life, and I've done it wrong the entire time, which is also awesome because I every time I get closer to doing it right, and then when I blow up and take over the entire world with the Hustle Beach podcast, people be like, "Oh my God, I knew it would be true. We were with you the whole time, Kosha, right there at 9 a.m. at Runyon Canyon with all the hot chicks, and it was all dudes who showed up. It was me." You're like, "Oh man." So speaking of hustle, how can we download the app?
It's on the Apple App Store and
Is
the Google Play Store.
Is it on? So you could get it if you have an Android.
Yeah, you can. It's in both, and we're developing the desktop version, because
AKA Rap Game Young Desktop. Ooh.
influencers mostly are on their phone, but the marketers and the advertising directors, whoever's putting together these campaigns, are probably sitting behind a desk somewhere. So,
Will KP be able to be on the app, or they won't be like a conflict?
I know. I mean, anyone can join.
Anyone.
There's no barrier to entry, no fees, no anything.
What? Give me one example of someone that locked something in already. Has anyone locked it in yet?
Yeah, like doing deals and things like
Yeah.
that. Well, look, I'll tell you what. It's no secret. The way we promoted the app when we started is remember those old Hair Club for Men commercials where the guy's like, "I'm not just the president, I'm also
A client?
yeah."
Yes.
So that's what we did. We hired the few influencers that joined because word of mouth or whatever. We hired them to promote the app.
Like Fire Festival.
Just like Fire Festival. And it spread that way. But no, I mean, people get hired all day long, promote different things.
So I could be like, someone will be like, "Hey, Coach, you want to promote this for like $50?" I'll be like, "Yeah, duh.
Sure. There's your
Let's
Starbucks
go."
money.
Yeah, just post a picture about our
Whatever it is.
hot dog brand.
We could post about Hustle Beach, the podcast, on
Dude.
Rep.
Yeah. Oh man, on Rep. That's amazing. So originally, I came at the podcast, and people have been telling me to do it forever, and then I started doing all this alliteration. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do junkies, journalists, and Jews, or rabbis, rappers, and record store, rehab. So I was like, let me get a rapper, let me get a religious figure, and let me get rehabilitation center owner that would be like a co-host, and then we just bring, I don't know. And then I think the last one was convicts. It was convicts, comedians, and I don't know, combat veteran. I don't know, something like that. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, I gotta get off that solution. And all of a sudden I was like, Hustle Beach. And I was like, I could mess with that. We got all hustlers. Obviously, you guys know I street perform. It's like that's like my day job. Like if it wasn't in the recovery business or like, working at a rehab, I've only rapped and worked at a rehab. And then before that, I delivered pizza and sold drugs. And I sold cemetery plots door to door. That was like one of my most proudest hustles. And yeah, door to doors, opening and closings of caskets. Obviously pre-death, because once you like, let's say you died tomorrow, let's say you get in a car accident, your brothers, they're gonna have to come up like $20,000 to like bury. It's an intense thing. So I was sold on it. Back then you answered stuff in the classified section, to get jobs. And before that, I don't know, I was like, I was delivering because I was always hustling, drugs. I was really messed up, and hustling pizza was like an easy, quick cash job, and I was in Jersey. And Hustle Beach, obviously you've been to Venice Beach. They try to sell you CDs, and I can't wait to bring my boy Peter Parker on here because he sells CDs on Hollywood Boulevard, and he's like one of the most hated people. But he makes so much bread, it's like ridiculous.
Why is he hated?
Because he's the guy that's like, yo man, check out my CD, and you're like, what's this? And you're like, hold it, and you're like, yo my man. Yeah, it's an amazing thing. Like, now check it out. Like, keep it there, look at it. It's pretty amazing, inside. And then it's, you're hustling. So obviously in Venice Beach. They're selling, and I respect the hustle on all levels. But what was your first like hustle? What was your thing before what were you selling when you were like young, like 6, 7?
6, 7.
Like, how'd you know, like from here to rep, like before perfume?
No, I mean, I think it was a bunch of a series of attempts, right? And I didn't really try selling anything until I was making music and trying to hustle.
You were in a
the
band?
Yeah, and I realized pretty quickly that while I enjoy writing music and recording and maybe performing, I'm not good at selling myself. We'd have a show and nobody would come because I wouldn't tell people about it.
Right.
You really have to use a Yiddish word. You have to have some chutzpah for that.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to talk about like a kid I'm managing or the company than it is like me, myself, my face.
For sure. But before all that, what was the first thing you hustled like when you were younger?
I mean, that was it. I was probably trying to convince a girl to go out with me.
They're all there.
Like, that's a hustle, right?
Yeah, there's a hustle. I know. Yeah, I know. It's such an interesting thing. Now everyone's swiping.
Yeah.
You have to convince them by swipe.
That's
sad times, my friends.
That's the thing that I think people
just bum the mood out of this podcast.
Sorry.
Like, oh God, how you gonna get a girl to go out with you on an app? That's just difficult.
So you just swipe,
But you don't exactly.
You go to a bar.
There you go.
That's the thing is that I wish more people did that.
Speaking of hustlers.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks
man.
for having
That's
me.
awesome.
I'm
down. I want rep to blow up.
Thank you.
I will do whatever I can. And speaking of rep, speaking of rap without the A and an E, I got my man who's also here. Do you want to introduce yourself with a prime introduction? I known this kid since I was like, I used to come out to Rock the Bell. I lived in Jersey. I would come out, Rock the Bells. And Rock the Bells was like the biggest underground, I won't say underground hip hop festival. It was like what's popular now, like what Kendrick Lamar started there, Paid Dues, and it was through MERS. It was Paid Dues or Rock the Bells, and these were the big things at San Bernardino. Then the tour started traveling around, and our next guest was out there everywhere with flyers since the beginning of time. He's been the same height ever since I met him. He's always had other people around him. He wore the same hat. And he is passing out flyers. And I mean thousands of flyers. And I've pressed up thousands. And anytime I had a project, I'm like, all right, I'm on tour, 5,000 flyers, 5,000 flyers. As you know, I was like, brought these flyers in because when you go out in LA, you're like, you come back to your car and then there's like, here, we got Saturday first, human resources, surf music, yoga, love in Mexico. Like everyone got a flyer for everything. And I don't want to see these flyers, but flyers kind of work, And so cool that if you ever wanted, Isaac, to get your stuff all over town, this is the guy to do it. So we are introducing the original, like the most legendary hustler all around. I met him in Texas, New York, California, San Francisco. We most recently connected while street performing outside a Banana Republic in San Francisco, and I set up in the light, and I was just rapping, and he popped up. So give it up for my man Jeff.
Thank you.
Insert really good applause there.
Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, man. What's your full name?
Jeff Williams.
Well, it is Williams, right?
Mhm.
So it's Streetworks.
Streetworks Promotion, streetworksworks.com.
There you go.
We're a non-traditional guerrilla marketing company. So anything from flyers, stencils, posters, having someone out there dressed up in a guerrilla outfit in 100-degree weather out at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
We do it all.
That's amazing. But wait, before that happened, like, you were where are you from?
I'm from here, born and raised in Southern California, but I've lived from Sacramento out to Apple Valley. I've lived in Orange County, everywhere all over Southern California.
Were you ever doing music or no?
Never created music. I mean, when I was a kid, I played the saxophone.
So you were never like, yo, I'm gonna rap, and then I'm gonna go all these rap shows and pass up flyers. Like, that's, 'cause, like, sometimes people like default. Like, Isaac was in a band, and he's like, I'm not in a band now. I work at a management company, and now all those band members hate me because I can't do anything for them. You're like, oh man, I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I toured.
No, I didn't even start in the hip hop industry. I started in the rave industry.
Yes. Oh, let's
started
talk about
out
raving.
helping just friends when they did small raves out at the roller rink here in the valley. It would be Warm and Fuzzy and all kinds of stuff like that.
That's an
And
event
then
called Warm and Fuzzy.
It was a group. They were called Warm and Fuzzy as the people that put them on.
That's an amazing promotional
and
company.
then
I
what
feel
was
like I
it?
could make a comeback now, like Warm and Fuzzy.
They really could. Then like
This
Sporty
isn't
and Nike.
when, like, what time, like what years were these?
Late 90s. That's like
Yes.
97.
Yes. When the
98,
hustle was
I went
real.
to...
You didn't have a cell phone back then.
No, it was all pager still.
There you go. So what was like the code when you needed to re-up on flyers?
It wasn't like that in the beginning. By the time I was doing that, it was I started working with Insomniac. I helped my roommate out promoting for Electric Daisy Carnival 98.
So wait, so EDC started back then?
EDC started way before that, even before that. Even before Insomniac had it, it was a festival before that.
Because EDC's going on like right now. While we're
Literally right
recording
now,
this,
yeah.
Literally
It's
right
the last
now.
day.
Everyone's like in like bunny, no, like literally like
In
naked
underwear.
bunny outfits.
No, they're
I'm
in
like-
underwear now.
They're in underwear now.
Yeah, nobody wears any clothes there anymore.
Yeah,
they're just in their
like
underwear.
they put glitter on their chest and their forearms, and they just go.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I love looking at beautiful women in underwear, but
I have a great story about EDC. I mean, I went to visit my great aunt was here from Israel, and she went to Vegas, and my mom was like, oh, we're going to go to Circus in Vegas, and my little Israeli mother, and she's like, oh, these people are dancing at this little festival, and it was EDC, and all the girls like half naked on Molly walking by my mom, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I stayed with my mom, and I was street performing out in Vegas, and everyone was having a spectacular time. And there was, that was EDC. Anyone who's at EDC staying at Circus is like, they're like roughing it. They're like campers of Coachella. You know what I mean? They're like the original.
I mean, but some campers at Coachella have it nicer than that.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
safari
yeah.
tents are really nice
Oh
there.
yeah,
so.
well that's like the ball. But so because everyone at EDC, you don't camp there, you stay at the hotels, right?
Yeah, there's no camping, but you're talking 3 hours to get into the venue and 3 hours to get out.
Is it that
Rich
long?
people don't even drive anymore. They get helicopter in.
Really?
Yeah, you can look at talking about Paris Hilton. You look at her Instagram feed, and you can see a helicopter, her getting on the helicopter and taking off and seeing it all.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so even if you have enough money, you can fly in. They'll helicopter you in, helicopter rides, so you don't have to sit in that traffic.
So, but you were passing out flyers for Insomniac.
For small little raves, and then I started with Insomniac. Pasquale liked what I did so much through my roommate helping out. He hired me on, and I started running all of his street marketing.
So that was it. You
Within
never
the
went
next
to
6 months to a
college?
year, I was living on his couch, taking his car to go promote everywhere.
That's amazing.
He'd be calling me saying, Jeff, are you coming home with a car?
Wow.
So he can go out and do stuff. But yeah, and I'd be like, I'm in Riverside promoting, putting in drops right now.
Right, and you were organizing your street army of like minions out there, and they're like, I want to go to EDC and eat.
Yeah, back then EDC wasn't the big one. Nocturnal Wonderland was.
Yes.
Nocturnal Wonderland was the big one we did,
Nocturnal
and that was
Wonderland.
Labor Day weekend every year until he moved it.
And so, how many flyers would you pass out?
We'd go through hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands. How much does it cost to press up 100,000 flyers today? Is that super?
I don't print 100,000 at one time usually. So it goes down for drastically in the amounts you do. But usually I print in a lot smaller amounts because
Like 5,000, 10,000.
5,000, 10,000, because we deal with smaller budgets with smaller shows nowadays. The festivals, most of them are all selling out.
Right, so they don't need. It doesn't need.
No.
They're gonna sell out regardless of not of how many
Coachella
flyers
sells
you put
out. Yeah, Coachella sells out way before it even announces a lineup.
Right. Yeah. But so were you? Did you help anything get from like 20 followers to like 1,000? Like what? Then you worked into the hip hop because I think that worked, right? Because that was like, way
I
different.
mean, I started with them and we brought it from doing like 10,000 to 25, 30, 42,000 people. We brought it up and helped get it out. We changed from just promoting to the things that were genre specific to I don't give a shit. I'm going to promote this at this hip hop show over here. We have no hip hop on the lineup right now, but I'm going to promote it here. But then the year we did Nocturnal Wonderland at the Empire Polo Fields, the only all-night rave to ever run there, we had Kool Keith, the Alcoholics. They had their whole stage. Someone ate Kool Keith's chicken.
Yeah.
I was
just
running
wanna-
around at 11 o'clock in Indio trying to find fried chicken for him to throw off on stage.
That's amazing. And someone ate his.
Someone ate his chicken. He does the gig where he puts it in the bag and throws it out to the crowd.
That's amazing. You know, I just went on tour with Kool Keith, and it was one of the most interesting experiences of my life. Because like a month on the tour, he was like, "Coach, man, how you doing? Where you been?" And I was like, "I've been on tour with you for like a month." And it just Kool Keith is one of the. But they're actually coming back on festivals. Dr. Octagon's making like a bunch of plays, and so you went from. But you never did college or nothing like that. You
No.
just went straight
I'm
to like.
a high school dropout.
Really?
High school dropout.
So you made something out of yourself.
And now we do promotion across the country. We've done promotion in Canada, a little bit in Mexico, in Tijuana. But yeah, I'm moving as far as I can.
And you're just out there. But well, tell us about wheat pasting. I'm really like interested. I like the wheat paste hustle because wheat pasting I felt like it was like another level of flyers. It's not a billboard, but it is. It's like in the hood, and it's like it's is it even legal or I don't even know.
It's a gray area. I mean, we had NBC come out and film us one night because they were thinking about doing a story, but then they changed the focus of their story to going after the big guys that go and set up the walls that aren't supposed to be there.
Oh.
What we do is we go after construction walls that are already set up that don't say post no bills. So we'll go around, and if
No.
it doesn't say post no bills, it's a gray area where there's not really anything anybody can do,
Do you
or
remember
say.
the Post No Bills? I thought it was a clothing company back in the day. It was like no, because and I was like, oh man, this is a great promotion for their clothing company. But then it was a clothing company about posting no bills, and that's right. Is it Super 2000? Right? Does anyone? Is anyone? Am I the only
I don't
one?
remember that.
Yeah.
You guys don't? Yeah, it was definitely PMB. It was in New York, and I remember. I was like, wow, this is super hip hoppy, like early 2000s. I'm like, that's genius. But okay, so post no bills means you can't. It's a construction wall. You can't post anything there because.
If
You
it
can't.
just says post no bills, you can get away with it still. But if it says post no bills will prosecute, they'll come after your client if they don't catch you.
Right. So you're going around town, pasting up. Now, what is it's like at this thing, right?
You can do it different ways. I'm not going to say what I use exactly because I use something different than everybody else and it works a little bit better.
Okay.
But most people get wheat paste or they can make cornstarch paste. You can go buy wheat paste. It's a powder. You add water to it and it becomes what you make paper mache out of pretty much.
There you go.
And you put water in it, you put a broom in a bucket, you put it up on the wall, put your poster over it.
But you guys make the ultra big posters for like all the movies. They do it because I live on 3rd and Normandy in LA, and it's like it's always changing.
The movie ones, those are the companies that actually lease out those locations, and it's really, really, really expensive to do.
So for movies, so a guy's like, yo, the ET Return. Like, it's not like they're hustling up like side gigs. They're like, yo, I need this. You know what I mean? Because they actually lease. They have to, because you can't just start posting out. They'll be like, hey, Universal, we're going to sue you for doing that or something.
Yeah,
Like,
if you go over certain boards, like there's two companies. If you go over their boards, which you can tell because of the way they frame it out and the way they paint the walls, they'll send your client a letter saying that you owe them money for putting posters on their boards.
Right.
I mean, I did it for Jack in the Box back in the day, and they straight said stop.
Right. They're like, yo,
That's why you just don't,
spot's hot. Spot's hot.
Yeah, you got to learn. You just got to know what walls to do and what walls not to. And then you can do, it depends if the client wants you to go completely legal or if they want you to do some gray areas and do electrical boxes.
And what about, like, who's doing the Kendrick Lamar dam all around L.A.?
It's another one of the people that I work with. It's not somebody that works for me, but another company that we work with.
And they're like, they just want it stenciled on the floor. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, we did gorilla stencils all around the country. We did Gaga stencils last year, Chili Peppers, Green Day, a bunch of the labels. But we do chalk.
Did you use Green Day as, let's say, Dookie?
No, I just said their new album, Revolution Radio.
It would have been amazing. If they wrote Dookie, I would know, because I haven't listened to a Green Day
I mean, you
album
can
in
go
so
out
long.
there and see some stuff we did middle of last year that's still there, that's kind of faded. But if anybody comes to you, you just can wash it out really easy.
Yeah, no one
Paint,
really cares.
it doesn't come out as easy.
Sure.
So we've had to go out to some areas, like in the Castro. They got mad about Gaga, so we had to go out and scrub them out.
Where Castro? What's that?
In San Francisco, the
Oh.
Castro district.
Okay, and they're like, listen, no Gaga on the floor
It
here,
was
buddy.
one guy that goes and complains about it and everything, and it's just ridiculous.
I fucking hate Gaga. Oh, man. So, like specifically, well, for someone who's like, hey, I want to paint this city. I want to paint New York and L.A. with my posters, wheat pasting. How much does that cost? Because I think people are always like, whenever I see it, I'm like, dude, that would be awesome. Because I was like in Salt Lake City and I saw Kendrick Lamar wheat paste on like some really ratchet. I don't think it was like from his last album in like 2012. Like it's still there. You know what I mean? So how much does it cost to like go get wheat pasting done? Because I think, you're doing all these big places, but what about like if he wants to do it for rep, if like Isaac's like, let's get this rep app all over and get it to like paint a city. Does it cost that much or?
You can get it done in between $3,000 and $4,000.
Per city. But you could
And
also
that's
do
cheap compared to billboards and
Sure.
stuff like that.
That doesn't get you a billboard
No.
for a month.
in one area.
And that's
Yeah.
one city. That'll get you about 500 posters put up all over the city, and then there are other companies that go over stuff and everything, so we'll go back through with that 500 posters, whatever's left from the first time going through, and go back and fill it up again. So it lasts you like in between 2 weeks and a month, depending on what other gigs are going on at the time. Some
Right.
people, if you want to do 1,000 posters, it costs a little more.
Right. Yeah.
But 500 is where you start.
Mhm.
And that
That's a
goes
good enough
across
to
a
get
city.
you a good presence, yeah. Some of the stuff we just did was LA Food Fest. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
it. We did. We're doing the Dead Daisies. We do all of Innovative Leisure stuff. So Corey Dane, Hani El Khatib, Nick
that's
Waterhouse, all
dope.
that, everything. So.
Well, but it's let's say you spend 3,000, but you also that means you press up the posters too. and
yeah, that gets you everything.
That gets you the whole shebang, and you could do the little bit of you give a little Instagram video of some guy wheat pasting at 5 a.m. in the hood.
I mean,
pretty amazing.
They had me in. Warner had me in Mikey Mike's video putting up a banner.
That guy. There's a guy. You know the guy who it says like this guy owes $3 million in child support.
2.5 million.
yeah.
That's him. He's
We put those everywhere across the
Okay, well-
country.
So what is that advertising actually?
His song.
It's an
It's
advertising.
his idea. It's him. He's a brilliant. Like coming up with that idea was brilliant of him because
No,
it got
I
so
always
much
meant
attention.
to go check it out, and then I would just get home and forget. But I
The
know
law of
exactly
sales.
what you're talking
What does the
about.
law of sales mean? You have to see something like 27 times, or you have to get sold 9 times.
You have to
and
see it 10
three-
times for it to even register in your head once.
Yeah, and 10 times, like only 1 out of 3 times that you see something does it register once out of the 10. So it's really like 30 times. So you've seen it about. You're like 60 times. You still haven't like, but
No, I mean I know what it is. I just didn't go online.
Mikey Mike, how's it doing? Is it?
It's doing good. He's doing good, really good, and I think they said Germany really good right now.
Amazing. And his song is about child support, or what is it about?
No, it's just about
Oh,
him.
that's just him. Okay.
It's just about him.
Right. He doesn't know. He doesn't even have a child.
No,
Okay.
and it's just him coming up with a gimmick to get people's attention.
Right.
You know, when he came out here originally, he did
like Mailchimp, Snail Pimp.
he did originally a poster that said, "I'm lonely. I just moved to LA. Call me" or something. Another billboard he has all over is "Ginger Curious. Send
Oh.
nudes and the phone number."
Right.
So he's just coming up with different ideas to get people to call a phone number that he's actually answering the line.
Oh, so that's his own number.
It's not automated. It's him.
No, it's him. I mean, I could go on his You can go on his Instagram right now and see him a video of him answering the phone.
That's really funny.
Yeah, just get. Why not? Why not talk to people?
That's great.
I mean, I put my phone number in my song Garage Sale. It's like, which you guys could listen to on Spotify for free.
I mean, for
I
War
wanted to tell
Dogs,
you, yeah.
for War Dogs, we did the same kind of thing where it was the tear off for the movie
Yeah.
War Dogs,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it was actual Jonah's number,
Jonah,
Jonah Hill.
really?
Yeah, it was a number that they set up just for him to answer for that.
No, it wasn't like, it was like his second line. It was his burner phone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't give his actual.
But it's actually
full-time
Mikey's.
number.
The guy. It's actually his real phone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he. Yeah, I don't think. I haven't seen. Has he done any shows? That guy.
He hasn't done any show. They were gonna do a show, but something happened and they didn't do it.
Life is so easy. Like I was gonna do a show, but didn't do it. Yeah, I was like gonna almost do this podcast about 50 times, but I'm really happy that you're because I feel like you're like the original hustler that I know. Because I'd be outside also passing out my flyers at the end of like Rock the Bells, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, word son, I seen you like rap on." As I would jump on all the stages, and I would know the host, and I would kick like one freestyle, and then go out in the crowd and sell CDs and basically do that. And RZA would let me spit a verse somehow, or I do, because hip hop's always late and going. It's not like, I'm sure Katy Perry shows down to the exact minute that they're got to be on stage. And if you're not on stage within those 2 minutes, you get to dock your pay because your pay is so massive. Every minute is actually like $10,000. And it seriously affects. And I would always see Jeff outside passing out these flyers. He would have like 10 of them. But now they have these flyers for all the electronic events. I see them. There's one dude, Henry, does it. And I'm like, there's music I've never heard of. There's like so many music scenes, and they still pass out the flyers from because I feel like there's tons of festivals like Lightning in a Bottle and those things that they're not always selling out. They're like close to it. So I think does it help? I mean, does it help? Like, do you think like what?
Yeah,
what
by
is-
far.
by
By far it does because, like you said, there's so many bots and everything on social media. So even if you're tracking all that, you don't know if it's hard to tell if it was a bot or what it was. Handing someone a flyer, that's a guaranteed impression. Even if they throw it on the ground 10 seconds later, they looked at it. They're getting that impression. It's
And they meet you and they connect you. So I feel like
yeah,
you're cool.
It also depends if someone's just out there handing their hand out and not saying shit.
Right.
Anybody who works for me, they're going to be talking at the top of their lungs, trying to tell everybody around them what they're actually trying to sell them. Because if you're just holding your hand out, you're not a promoter. You're just standing there with your hand out, trying to talk to people and
You're
have
a scarecrow.
a social life.
Yeah. Dude, wheat paste. I love it. I love wheat pasting. I feel like I want to wheat paste just pickles all over the city.
should.
And like
People will be like, "Why are there pickles everywhere?" I want to take a picture of myself with the pickle and put it on
right.
Instagram.
Take a picture. Take a pickle with the pickle. Imagine if pictures were called pickles. I think, like I said, man, pickles are right behind cats,
And
pizza. We're right behind them.
Coming up.
Baby dills always sell out. One guy on Warped Tour, baby dills are always like, everyone loves baby dills, I don't want to start going into the topics of babies or anything like that, but I mean, everyone loves anything baby-sized, But wheat pasting, big posters, massive, 24 by 36.
22 by 28 or 24 by 36,
Not
depending.
to be specific, but yeah.
There it is.
Seriously, man. Well, dude, it's I feel like. So what's next for? So you're like, so if I'm gonna go on tour, or any like artist that's going on tour, they could find you, right? And they're gonna be like, yo, man, like I'm broke. I got like, but you'll be like, yo, you should hit up my, you could hit Johnny Jump Off in Omaha or something like that. Like I got him to hold you down out there, But do people really still promote? Like, do people really still promote stuff, or is it like, because you're still out there, like 20 years in the
20 years into the game, and yeah, we're doing right now we're doing a campaign for the Dead Daisies across the country in a bunch of different markets. I have people in Dallas, San Diego, Chicago, New York, Detroit, Toronto, and a couple other markets promoting for their shows coming in town and their album. So, if you're just, it depends. I mean, we also do stuff for Golden Voice. We do a lot of their promotion for all their local shows here, and then we do all their stuff up in the Bay. I'm actually going up on Tuesday to have meetings with my team and everything and get everything set up a little more.
right.
So, yes,
Do people
promotion
still
does.
volunteer? Do people still like intern like on that level, or is it like?
If you're like Insomniac or one of those rave companies, yeah, people do that. But I would never ask anybody to ever pass out a flyer for free ever again.
Never again. It's just those times are over.
Yeah, I did it when I worked for the rave companies, and one thing, you get subpar work. They're not
You
out
get
there
what you
to.
pay
The
for.
world.
They're
of
not out there to
interns.
do it. They're out there to have fun, and they're saying, "Oh, take this because I'm so hot," or some shit like that. There was literally a guy at the Regent the other night. The security was telling me about, like, dude, this guy sucked. He was like out here just talking about himself, saying he's so hot and everything, and take the flyer because I'm beautiful. And like, that's not what you're here to do. You're here to sell what's on that piece of paper right there.
Yeah,
because
man.
you want a ticket into the show. You're getting paid. Whatever it is. Take some pride in what you're doing, and that's also a problem with just society in general. Is people don't take pride in what they want.
Oh man, people do not take pride in what they do anymore. It's true, even in passing out a flyer, man. But if I pass out a flyer with rep on it, it's on. Hustle Beach, baby. Get out. I really want to take this to Venice Beach. Well, so guys, just so you know, if you're listening, there's gonna be some little in-term thing that was probably me rapping on the street. You heard. And last night I performed outside the Echo, and the Echo's Pizza Place, and they had Funky Soul, and there was a guy passing out soul flyers for like another funk jam, and he was out there the whole night. Didn't pass out a lot, but it was just, I think, target marketed stuff that he was just like, hey, this is where you pass out this stuff at. And I rapped, and I made, it was good. People bought all my pickle hat, and it was targeted.
How long do you do that for?
Like
on average?
2 hours a clip, 3 hours a clip, just rapping nonstop.
Non-stop for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, take a little breath. Yeah, he's seen. Yeah, he's
I was up in San Francisco last year doing some stencils, and I think it was during Hyro Day, and I was staying in Union Square because there's a hotel there that no extra charge for dogs to stay. So I brought my dog up with me. And I come around the corner, just walking my dog at night, let him get his last walk in, and yep, I guess I'm hanging out for a little while because there's Kosha.
Yeah, dude.
Just in the most random places I've ran into him.
Yeah,
Just sitting there rapping.
Sitting in the cut, dude. It's a good hustle, man. It's the concept of actually, like, I can't tell you how many Spotify followers I've now, because now I'm like, oh, yeah, follow my Instagram and Spotify. It's like cool, like Facebook, great, but like now I'm like, all right, I want people to be on my Spotify because then they're going to share the music with their friends, or their friends see that they followed me and they'll listen to the music directly. Because now it's like there's so many barriers, right, to get to what you're doing, and that's why it's cool to hear the backstory of you guys. Like, you dropped out and you've been doing this, and you were selling.
Both dropped out.
You were
just
dropped
did
out
it
too?
sooner, yeah.
Oh, okay. Where'd you dropped out of what?
College.
Okay, you dropped out of high school.
2 years. Yeah.
I mean, but dropping out of school and all that isn't, look at one of the richest people in the world, and one of the people I look up to, Richard Branson. He dropped out of college.
Yeah.
He left school. He didn't do any schooling. No,
I
nothing.
definitely did
And
not.
look at him.
Hustler.
I definitely went
to
to
the
school.
fullest.
I definitely went to school with like Division I wrestling, and then left with like multiple felonies, and like I eventually came back and finished, and now I rap and I really create everything for myself. But I couldn't have told you that, like, oh, an English degree. I think the best part of it is, the discussion piece. I mean, everyone has their own story, so I think it's cool that you're like, as Isaac's boxing and he's, slinging I'm like champagne perfume. I keep thinking champagne. Which would be another, you could totally make your own liquor too, I'm sure, if you wanted to, but I can't, but me specifically, but that's, anyways, that's cool that because I'm like, man, I was thinking, you're telling me that story, I'm like, man, I need pickle scented perfume, you know what I mean? I was like, what would that be amazing? People, because it would go viral, right? Like, we had pickle, like, now there's pickle perfume, essence of dills.
You'd probably be the only one with it.
Essence of
Yeah, you can
dills. I
bundle it
want
with
it.
your new
All right,
album.
let's talk about that, yeah? And then a bunch of wheat pasted pickles around town. Then I'll blow up, and then we could just hustle beach to the top. I'm excited about this name, guys.
I'm feeling
I like it.
Yeah.
I want to get T-shirts. So you guys will be the first ones to get T-shirts.
I'll wear it.
Yeah, so Hustle Beach, Jeff Williams, slinging flyers till the day. Your casket is going to be like, when you die, you're just going to be like a casket of multicolored. Of all the flyers, bury you with all the original flyers.
I
you passed
actually
out.
keep copies of every poster, every flyer.
What is
everything.
what is your like scrapbook look like? It must have like
It's
the original.
it's a tub of I have tubs, and then I have 2 storages at my place in downtown, so they're full of flyers all the time, and I have shelves that just have.
You could have your own
stuff.
art show of like all the.
Probably could.
original-
I'm actually eventually just gonna take some plywood and wheat paste a bunch of posters and flyers all over it to make an art piece.
Dude,
Sick.
I like it. I want in. I want a wheat paste.
Come out with us sometime soon.
Yeah,
I'll be in San Francisco this week, but if you're next week in town, we're doing a bunch of stuff for Stone's Throw. We'll still be doing some Dead Daisies and some Innovative Leisure stuff. So.
No, Dead Daisies a band?
Yeah, it's a super group of a bunch of different people from like Ozzy Osbourne's band, Billy Idol's band, a bunch of different super group guys. So,
Man,
I forget all their names off the top of my head.
Well, listen, Dead Daisies, Innovative Leisure, Stone's Throw, you're wheat pasting some of the best. And only the best get wheat pasted. And it's true. And obviously, you're more than welcome to come to our hiking group on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Cobra Fitness Club.
That's a little early for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really get to sleep before 4 a.m., even if I don't work.
Yeah.
And Isaac, I hope rep goes amazing.
Thank you, man.
I hope it goes to the top. I hope I make a couple shekels off of it,
Hope so,
getting
too.
in there. Andy signed up already. Andy's in the back producing it up with his old dirty bastard shirt. If you're here, you'd really appreciate it. Happy Father's Day to everyone who forgot to say Happy Father's Day to their father, and it's taken them weeks to forgive him because the time this comes out, it'll be at the end. And yeah, man, this is it. Hustle Beach. We are out here to hustle, keep the hustle alive on all levels and schemes. We have former band members. We have future life coaches, future wheat pasters of America, WPA. Start your own union, my friend. Do you have insurance and stuff like that? Does it work out? Yeah, I mean, you just have to buy it yourself, right?
Yeah, business insurance, yeah.
That's amazing.
We did, it's kind of scary doing a giant projector job with 5 projectors all over New York for Rolling Stones, their last album last year, without having that.
Right.
Renting out that much equipment and not having insurance is kind of scary.
Man. Rolling Stoned. Just kidding. Rolling Stones, guys. I don't do jokes. Well, listen, this is the end of Hustle Beach. My name is Kosha Dills, Rami, Matan, Evanesh. You could add me on all kinds of things, the internet. And just real quick, guys, plug all your stuff just for people to jam to.
Yeah, the main thing is rep. All you got to do is type REP into the App Store and you'll find it. If you want to follow it on Instagram, it's rep_app. And that's it. Thank you.
All right. Guy Fantastico. You can hit him
Sure,
up.
that's my handle.
GUY Fantastico. And Jeff, give us the plug.
Streetworks Promotion, Streetworks Works, or streetworksworks.com or Streetworks on any social media.
Dude, man. The flyest with the flyers. My name is Kosha Dills. I'm out of here like Vladimir. And it's not like racist, is it?
No, it's great. I'm a big fan.
Oh, all right, good.
Yeah.
All right, good, because you're part Russian.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. I just want to did I miss the boat on that? Yeah, guys. So Hustle Beach, we're gonna have. I guess I haven't started, but I guess I'll make an Instagram and all those things. And so obviously you'll be able to find Hustle Beach, and I'm a KOSHADILLZ. Obviously, big up to Jordan River Recordings for letting us rock the spot up in here. And until next time and your next grind. Hustle Beach out.